Hi guys, the time has come. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Morgan. If you're not, then you already know that. But welcome back to my channel. Today is the day for special effects. So I have been planning this for damn near a year, honestly, wanting to do this look, but I just have been sticking to more of the glam side and actual makeup and just trying to, start up my YouTube channel. And I figure what better way to start the special effects side, or body paint I should say, of my YouTube channel than the one look I have been trying to plan and do for a year. So, drum roll please. This is who I'm going to be doing. It is Nebula from Guardians of the Galaxy. I have a bald cap. I have all the things to hide my eyebrows, everything. Paint. I am ready. Contacts, everything. I'm so excited to bring you guys along for this. It's not really going to be a tutorial, but I am going to walk you through, do some voiceovers in some parts, things like that, because it would just take, this is probably going to take me a solid 2 to 3 hours. Y'all don't want to sit here and watch that for 2 to 3 hours. But I'm super, super excited to bring you guys along. That is why my hair is all slicked back right now. I'm going to attempt to attach a bald cap for the first time ever. But let's do this. Let's go. Okay, so let's get started here. First things first, I am going to be blocking out my eyebrows. This takes forever and so many layers, but basically the trick is to just add glue, comb them down. You want to get them as flat as possible and continue doing that until you feel like they're held in place. You want to lock them into place and they'll be good. So I just continue to brush them down and kind of clean up the sides. For whatever reason, I think because I had a little bit of moisturizer on, it was kind of starting to ball up once it hit my skin. But I just cleaned all the edges up and with a Q-tip like you're seeing here, and it just really helps kind of like melt it into your skin and not have like a harsh glue line, because unfortunately you can see that later. But let them dry and concealer time. Add a bunch of concealer. Clearly I went heavy in there, and I mean, I'm painting my entire face, so it's not like it really needs to match my skin tone or anything, but we're just gonna blend them out and then add some powder. Lots of powder. I don't know why I said some powder. Add a lot of powder because you want to fill in as much of the little creases or holes or anything that could not have been filled. Next up is going to be the bald cap. So it took me a second to try and get it over my giant head. Clearly I already slicked my hair, so you want to try and make it as flat as possible. And then I almost suffocated myself, so that was awesome. You make a little line. I was actually watching a tutorial as I was doing this since it was my first time. That's what I keep looking at. But I cut out so I could see what I was doing, making sure everything was laid flat and just fit it snug on my head. I look like I have a condom on my head, and I was making myself laugh because I'm a middle school boy, I guess. Next thing is some Prozade. You put that in there. You got to let it dry kind of in between. See, I was pushing it down too soon, and then I got to the part of the video where it told me I needed to let it dry. There's me letting it dry. A hair dryer or something like that would probably be a lot easier, and for whatever reason my Prozade didn't dry clear like I guess it's supposed to. Some spots were clear, but a lot of it was still white, so whatever. And I'm just going to continue doing that all around the edge of my face and just really making sure that it's dry, getting tacky, and sticking down. Next part, which was super cool, is that acetone actually melts the Galaxy bald caps. So I was able to put a little bit of acetone on a Q-tip and then make a little hole to stick around my ear. I trimmed off the excess around my face and then went ahead and started to secure that down, making sure I had enough, and then more Prozade to glue it down. This, again, I just used some acetone on a Q-tip and I was able to melt that line so there wasn't like a super harsh line. You can't really tell in the video, but it made it lay really flat, which later you'll be able to tell because you cannot see a crease from my regular skin to my bald cap at all on the finished part. And then this is me laughing at myself because of my ponytail and just staring at myself being bald. And more powder, powder, powder. I powdered all around the bald cap, down my neck, on my face, and around my ears. The ears were probably the most difficult part, in that lower part of my neck. Hopefully next time I do this, I'll be able to hide it a tiny bit better, but I got a lot of hair and extensions, so it was kind of hard down there. Next, I am mapping out all the lines. So Nebula is 2 different colors, has some sharp points around her eye, has a silver plate, a black plate on the top of her head, stuff like that. So I really wanted to take time to map it out before I actually started painting. Clearly, I mapped it out super precisely because those lines, I mean, they really look identical next to each other. It was great. But here it is all mapped out on what I was going to do. I didn't really map out the body part, but... And now, time for paint. So, she's not as bright blue or purple, as you'll see later, as I did it. She's obviously metal, so it was a little bit harder to try and get the colors correct, but I like this blue for the blue parts of her face. She's blue and purple, so just taking my time painting. It doesn't seem like that sped up, but in reality, like, this is sped up an insane amount, but because I had to move so slow to not mess everything up, it's not like crazy sped up or anything. So I'm just adding the second color. I put all the blue on, and then I went to the purple. Now I am adding shading. So she has, like, since it is metal, she has like worn metal marks on her face, so I tried to kind of give myself that effect with some dark blue and black paint on a fluffy brush, and I do it a little bit more towards the end also to give it just a little bit more worn down metal look. Then I started on the silver portion of the eyebrow. This was kind of hard because once I got to the actual bald cap, this like silver cream paint that I have wasn't wanting to stick to it. So I'm not 100% sure why that happened, but thankfully I was able to get it like added a grease, so I was able to put like silver eyeshadow down and it stuck perfect. It looked completely the same. So now I'm just finishing the eyes, trying to be precise around this part because that silver part actually has some like stripes and like metal working, it looks like, so I didn't want to mess it all up. So I added some light blue highlight, dark blue contour lines, stuff like that, just kind of adding it around. I used a light blue shimmer shade. And then I took a snack break and started on the body. Now, I'm going to be 100% honest. The body was probably the hardest part for me. I'm not good, or I haven't had a lot of practice, I should say, in clothing, like trying to actually make things look like clothing. So that was probably my least favorite part, was doing this. But I basically did the exact same steps, put the blue down or whatever color I was using, and then tried to put texture on top of it. Trying to match what she wears. She has a high black collar and then a lighter purple like bodysuit thing on. So that's what I was doing, was just adding the black and going around, trying to keep it somewhat clean. Then there's the lighter purple for her bodysuit, adding that on. This I was able to move a little bit faster because it's not as precise, obviously, as the shapes up top. And then she has, like, the texture of her top, I was trying to give that when I was just using some, like, black, dark purple, and a fluffy brush to kind of give it a clothing-like effect. It didn't really turn out the way that I wanted it to, but, I mean, you win some, you lose some. And then also I added her straps. So she has a really strappy top on on top of that. So I tried to just give myself those little straps that go down. Obviously I'm wearing like a tube top, so I wasn't able to do exactly what she did, but next was really just details. So I wanted to line out all of the different plates in her face and going around the silver part, adding all of that to the silver part to make it look like it's actually like different plates in her face. So it ended up turning out really cool, and I'm really glad that I took the like extra time to do all of this. But that's what I'm doing here. And all finished up. I am so glad with how this turned out. I cannot explain it to you. I did it. I look insane. You can still see my ponytail. Some of my bald cap is peeling off, but I cannot believe I actually did it. I have been wanting to do this look for so long. I kind of look like her. First time wearing colored contacts. You could still see a little bit of my blue, but she's got black eyes, so I cannot believe I finally did this. Y'all do not know how long I've been wanting to do this. I cannot even explain it to you, but so excited. I hope you guys had fun watching that. Me trying to do all of this and figure it all out and what I needed to do, but I'm done. Nebula is done. Definitely think I'm going to be needing to do more looks like this. So if you're interested, let me know in the comments. I didn't paint the bottom of my arms, so I look crazy. That's why I have to keep my arms down. But I'm going to take some pictures of this and post them on my Instagram. If you guys want to see more like this, please let me know. Go ahead and follow me on all my socials. I'll link them around the screen as always. Thank you so much for coming along on this journey with me. And we're just getting started, y'all. Thank you, and I'll see you next week. Bye.